put my glasses on, right?
Yeah.
So I can read it. This card was made with love, especially for you. Grandkid Cards Unlimited 2007. Oh, I love it, I love it. Oh, look, look.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that cool?
Trinity, Brandon, Jennifer, Suck, Mary Lou, Octavia.
Oh, Mary Lou is so darling.
And
Where
Trinity.
do you get all those wonderful ideas? God blessing for a Merry Christmas. Oh, I like it, I like it.
Nice.
Show it to Aunt Janelle, she hasn't seen it.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh, Jennifer
I
hasn't seen
haven't.
And your name is right
Oh my
there.
goodness.
That's yours.
Oh, that's adorable.
Well, I think there's a present, Trinity, in that paper you're holding. It's a real lightweight, tiny present. Can you show it to her? But Ggma might be able to use that for tomorrow.
Didn't we see that same elk at the game farm?
Yeah.
The fingernail file.
I think it was the same one.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Behind that big
Oh,
fence.
yours.
Mom, it's a fingernail file.
Yes,
It's very, it's glass.
I
It's
like
unbreakable. But you file your nails a little bit and see how well it files.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a
Oh my goodness, where did you get it?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it? It's so different.
I've seen them around. I got
Finam-
this.
Got you, Janelle.
Nail in the bowl.
I got this at a place called the Gifting Place, the same place where I got your music
I was
box.
trying to get nail in there.
But it's a nice little place, and I've seen them around, and I have had one for a long time. And I just like it so much that I thought you would enjoy it.
Where'd you get the idea for the card?
There was a
From the game farm.
from the game farm. It was a template from the Martha Stewart show, and I went online and got the template and cut it out and made it.
But it's highly modified.
Huge.
Oh, and I modified it. Yes,
It's very highly modified.
well, yeah, they did say that you could hang ornaments.
Have
from
you
the-
seen it, Brandon?
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
seen it? Isn't it darling?
Unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, come, Chuck, you can
I've-
see it. Here it is. Here,
He saw
Chuck,
it.
come see it.
He had to
I
put
saw
up
it.
Now you
put
have
up
to. There you go.
have to see it
Thank you,
again.
Trinity.
Oh my
Listen,
Oh,
goodness.
did something fall
Oh,
down?
he's huge.
Did something fall off? Trinity, look at your
Oh,
feet.
look
Titi,
down
look
here.
down.
One of
One of
the,
the-
Oh, one of the.
One of the names fell off?
yeah,
Teresa.
one of the names fell off.
Oh, we better
Oh,
fix it.
no.
The little.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Teresa fell off the antlers.
Where did it fall off? I'll have to fix it. I'll have to get my glasses and do it.
Where did you get it?
Trinity has good eyes.
I got, well, they sell them everywhere.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it before.
I hadn't seen them, but I bought one at the our beauty supply place in Port Angeles about 2 years ago.
Oh.
And then I've seen them other places, you know, like if you go to street fairs and things, they'll sell them. But the ones at the gifting place were real pretty because they had the little rhinestones on
Should
them.
we have,
And so I thought they were very attractive. And
This doesn't have rhinestones.
what does it have? A
Flowers.
Okay, well, some of them had rhinestones, some of them had flowers, so you got a flower.
I like it, I like it.
Yeah.
So did you say it was 1938 or 39 that
38,
that you were singing
graduated from high school.
and you were singing?
Yes.
And it was for what was the occasion?
My neighbor, Helen
Helen
Frisbee,
Frisbee.
Okay.
was elected to Miss Central Light. But she wasn't really elected. She gets to be Miss Central Light by selling
Done.
the most subscriptions to the
very good.
I got
Cool.
you.
Thank you.
paper.
Take it.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very
Selling the
much,
most
Trinity.
subscriptions to the
Good
school
job.
paper. So there was a school newspaper?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's our school. Show this, please, Trinity. Will you show that
Can I see?
to Aunt Janelle?
So was it just school news?
Usually, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Well,
So-
maybe some news from Boy Central. Boy Central was the all-boys school.
Okay.
It was, my brothers went to that.
Well, now who would she sell subscriptions to? The other students or?
No, not other students. To, businesses. It's actually a money-making. Thank you. Isn't that cute, Mary Lou, or Janelle?
Yeah.
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 It was a big honor to be Miss Central Light. Big honor. She would be at the football games and kind of be,
Kinda like the homecoming queen.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's what
exactly
she
right,
was,
Chuck,
yeah.
homecoming.
Well, even a bigger honor then to be able, for you, to sing
Oh, yeah.
at her coronation.
Oh,
Is
no,
that-
the honor was hers, yeah. But, it was neat, yeah, it was great.
How many, types of assemblies did you solo in then? Did you solo often?
I think just once, just to her, special program.
And then many times in the car?
What?
And then many times in the car on
Oh,
those
yeah,
trips?
yeah.
That's through the
Yeah,
canal,
we were always
The
singing.
canal.
Oh, that's so cool.
Did you have a radio in the car to sing to, or did you just sing yourselves?
We probably had a radio in the later cars, but I don't know about the earlier cars.
What about the Willis? Did it have a radio? The Willis?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't pop your
What about
iPod
it?
in?
Did it have a radio?
I think so,
What year was that Willis?
41
41.
came out, and of course Grandpa Lescavar had the dealership of the Willis.
No, that was
Wow.
before, no,
I didn't know
that was
That's
before
really
Lincoln.
cool.
Yeah. He didn't have
Before
it.
Lincoln Mercury.
And the guy at the other end of town had the Wotus dealership,
Which one?
Willis and Wotus.
Oh,
no.
boo.
We didn't have a car when we got married.
That one
What
flopped.
am I gonna
So we
You
went.
didn't
We
have a
took
car?
no, we didn't have a car. We took the 41 Willis on our honeymoon. We came to Seattle for a week. My brother Ray had to be back at Fort Lewis on October 5th by midnight, and we were married on October 4th. So we had to get him here in Fort Lewis by Sunday by midnight. We just made it.
I can redeem myself.
Yes.
Then you said to your dad, won't you give us your Willis?
Oh, you want?
No, we didn't say that. We saved our wedding present money. We got about $400, and that's what we used to buy the Willis.
How much was the
But that
Willis?
was in May.
I think that's more than we got in our wedding.
How much was the Willis, Mom? How much did you have to pay for that?
I think it's probably about $400.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a new one, and we had used it. We took it on our honeymoon, and then we drove it on and off.
So you bought it as a used car?
Yeah.
But you had actually, you had been the one that had used it, is that right?
Yeah, we had used it, but it was also one of the demos on the lot.
Oh, okay.
And
How long was
Grandpa
it?
didn't have the big dealership at that time. He just had where his other business was. It was called Central Auto Painting. That was the name of his business.
Oh, okay.
So a salesman probably used it as a demo to demonstrate it. for
But the
people.
only salesmen were Ed and Babe and Grandpa.
Did Dad ever sell cars? What, did he sell any
Yeah,
cars?
he did try to, yeah,
Oh,
but not a lot.
Okay.
That was a 41 Willis. That was the first car, and then of course the war. So it was all different then. But we did save all that wedding present money to buy that car.
That's something.
That's something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. $400. That's amazing for a brand new car.
Well, it had mileage on it already.
Wow.
I wonder what would $400 be worth, today?
Yeah, Chuck,
$400,
how much would it be worth?
About
66 years.
15, 16 times.
Wow.
Oh, that's a lot.
It depends on what you're buying. Rough. It's between 15 and 20 times, depending on. the item you're buying.
So then how did you and Grandpa meet?
Down at the Slovanian Hall, which both my folks belong to. My dad was very active in the Slovanian Hall. They had their own hall, and it was a big, large floor and a stage. And my dad was active. He was president of what they called the association of the hall. And these were all the Slovenian lodges that met there. My mom was with St. Anne's Lodge, and my dad was I think it was St. John's Lodge or something like
St. John's.
that. And in the basement, they had a huge area down there that could be used. They had a bar down there, and they had a bar upstairs. And we were at one of the dances and stuff like that. And Grandpa was in the back room where they had the bar, and I was there. I never drank. I didn't like drinking. And so I was having probably Coke, and he was there, and we started talking. And he was a senior in Butte High School at that time.
Oh.
He's 4 years older than I, but he was held back in school because he had also had rheumatic fever,
Rheumatic, okay.
and had to be in bed when he was about 8 years old. He had to stay in bed a long time. And he still had some of the signs of that in his heart when he was older. But anyway, we started talking and visiting, and he said, "Are you going to the Butte High prom?" I said, "The Butte High prom? No." "Well, you are now." I'll never forget that.
Wow, what a bold move.
Wow, yes.
Very persuasive way to ask.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't think he asked, I think he told her.
Yeah, he said, "You are now."
That's what I said, persuasive.
So I didn't hear a word from him after that, and I wondered if I was gonna go or not, and I didn't have a dress. So my cousin in Great Falls had a dress that she had worn to her sister's wedding. It was blue, organza type, like long and pretty, and it was too big. My mom had to take it in, and didn't hear a word from him all that time. I wondered if I was still going. So he does come over, comes on the streetcar.
Oh my.
Didn't have a car. And that was 1937, because he graduated in 37. He was 4 years older than I. Anyway, we went to the prom.
How old?
I was 17, you know.
He was not, oh no,
He was 21.
21.
Yeah, an older man.
I don't think I'd let my daughter, my 17-year-old daughter, go out with a 21-year-old.
Well,
Especially one from the East Butte.
Yeah, East
Definitely.
Butte had a kind of a bad reputation.
Well, it was kind of a tight-knit Slovenian community, correct?
That's right. it
So
was.
you knew the families.
Yes,
So they
knew
weren't
it.
complete strangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it would be a little more apropos to let a 21-year-old date a 17-year-old if you already knew the families and their history and their background and the person that you're dating, that your daughter go out with.
And they were personal friends,
Yes.
Grandma Lescavar and Grandpa and
So it might
Grandma
make a little difference.
Lucine.
Yeah, it would
Yeah,
be
I
a big difference. So now, didn't you go on picnics?
Oh, yeah,
with your
lots of
family?
picnics, lots of picnics.
So there was lots of picnics even before you two had started talking and before this date.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you had seen each other before, but what did you think of him at that time?
I liked him.
Oh, he was pretty.
You had a relative who lived next door to Ann and Tony in
That
East
was
Butte.
my mother's uncle, lived next door to Ann and Tony.
And what was his name?
Tony, Cash.
So it was the same Cash that
Yeah.
she came from Slovenia
Yeah.
to work in his,
Not him.
Okay,
his brother.
his brother, I didn't
Mhm.
realize
He's the
that.
one that made that statue that we had. Did you remember that statue that we had for many years? Looked like a peasant girl carrying a
Your
bucket.
mom had it. It was your mom, she called it Isabel, or is it that one?
I think so.
What was
I
it?
don't know
What was
who
it?
ha-
What did she call
I
it?
don't know who has it now, but we had it in the living room.
Your mom did in
Yeah.
her house. I remember that. She had a name for that. I'm trying to remember what the name was. But the statue was probably about 3 feet tall, and she
Not-
was carrying
not
it
quite,
quite.
no.
Well, she seemed tall to me when I was little. Maybe it wasn't quite that tall.
So she was a peasant girl, and what was she doing?
She was carrying some, like a bucket or like carrying
I think
water.
it was a jar. It was a big,
Oh, that's right.
it was
that's
a
right.
jardiniere, pretty
Yeah.
good sized jardiniere, and she was holding it like that, and
Yeah.
she had a flowing gown.
Like a water jar? Like Rachel, as she would go to the well to get water?
Yeah,
Is it
maybe
like-
so.
Yeah.
It was biblical.
Well, I'm just,
But the name wasn't
probably-
Rachel. I don't think the name was Rachel, but Grandma had a name she called the statue. I didn't know it was made by someone. Was it ceramic?
Made by the
No,
man that
Grandma
lived
was-
next door to Ann and Tony.
Was it carved or was it poured, or do you know how, was he a potter or was he a sculptor?
I think it was poured.
okay, so he was the brother, his last name was Cash, and he is the brother of our Cash in our family, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
What was the name of his brother who invited Grandma
Frank
Frank Cash?
sent her money.
Tell that
from
story,
Seattle.
Mom.
yes, please,
Uh-huh.
tell that story.
Well, okay.
Was it Frank
um,
Cash or,
It
My
wasn't
mom-
Frank, no,
oh, okay.
not the
was
statue.
Two
Johnny.
different, okay.
Johnny?
was an orphan when her father died when she was 4. Her mother died when she was 8. And the 4 children lay on top of a fireplace and watched her die. And I saw that room that she was in when she died. That house is still there. When we went to Europe in '89, we saw the family that was there. And saw that room. And I couldn't imagine, when my mom told me how they laid on the fireplace, how they could lay on a fireplace. And I thought, well, maybe there was a big alcove scooped out and they could sit up there if there's 4 of them. No, that didn't work, but okay. So then when we went to Europe in '89, we saw this fireplace. And what it is a large tile structure about, I would say about 4 feet by 4 feet in the area of one of the rooms, and it was all tiled over, and it was real nice. And they would make the fire in a box, but it would be on the outside of the room where they would feed this fire. And that heated up the whole room and heated up this tile, and the children laid on top of that on blankets and watched their mother die.
Oh,
My mother was 8 years old when her mother died.
That
How
would be
did
your,
she die? What was the cause of death?
Oh, I think it was she's very religious, and
that would be your grandma?
my grandmother, my mother's mother, yeah,
What was her name?
Mary, I'm pretty sure.
Mary,
Was-
Mary,
what was her maiden name?
her maiden name.
Mahilchik is.
My mom's was Mahilchich.
We don't know your grandmother's maiden
I
name.
might know,
Okay. Maybe it was in that Lucine book, probably is in there.
maybe.
So they had to go outside and open the firebox to
Yeah, it was
feed
kinda, went out into a kind of an outside area, but it was part of the house.
Okay,
Yeah, it wasn't,
covered.
yeah.
So you would not see the fire from inside the house, but you would feel the warmth because the warmth of the fire would be,
Yeah.
would be emanating through the tiles.
Oh, yeah.
But so you would have to go outside to feed the fire?
It was actually closed in like,
Like a fire.
it wasn't open where you could see the flame.
Wow.
It was closed.
Like a garage sort of on the
Well,
attached, where you went to feed the fire or?
when I was
put
in
the
Europe, they had a lot of the houses that I saw, the older houses, when we went to the outdoor museum, were built this way.
Yeah.
And the way they did it is, it was kind of like, the fireplace we have here. Picture that fireplace, but picture the fact that the fireplace was completely blocked in. So instead of seeing that big hole there with the firebox is, it would be all either the sandstone, but picture it being tile, the ceramic tile.
Oh, here they are.
And then picture that,
Carolyn Ball.
then picture that the wall went up about 5 feet. And then picture that there was a flat area up there, just almost like it was a table. So you'd walk in and you'd see this big box, and the box was probably about 4 feet by maybe 5 feet. And it was all tile on top and on the sides. And that's all you saw in the room. But when you went out and around to the outside of the room, say to where, I've seen it where they've had animals, like a farm, like a barn type of animal situation, and they would feed the fire from the outside, like Mom was saying, or
Doors that open up.
you would walk out the door and there would be sort of a place that would be an overhang or a breezeway between two buildings, and one of the buildings was the barn, the other was the living area. And that's where they would have the firebox. Or the firebox could be on another wall, in another in another room that might be the room where they did the cooking. So there's lots of ways in Europe that they use this method, because then you wouldn't have the mess from the wood. It would be fed, and everything would be going into the firebox from the outside of the room. So your room would stay clean.
They call it a firebox, so, right? No.
Actually, it was a hearth. And so the girls were probably sitting on top of the hearth, or the family, the children were sitting on the
It
hearth.
was quite a big surface though.
Oh, it's huge surface. It was probably about, it can be about 5 by 5 or 5 by 6
Yeah,
or 4 by
exactly.
5, depending upon the size of the room and
That's
the
right.
size of the house.
Exactly.
So Mary Mihel,
Mahelcha.
Mihelchich, yes, Mihelchich.
My mother's mother,
Your mother's mother, your grandmother.
And her maiden name was Coz, or Cash,
Cash,
C-O-Z.
Z.
Her maiden name was Coase, so Mary Coase.
no,
Mary-
her
Her
maiden
name
name was
was Cash.
Mihelchich.
Oh, okay.
But one
Oh,
of,
actually, look at
she
this.
married a man named Mihelchich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
What was that?
but her my grandmother's maiden name was Coz,
Okay.
C-O-Z, but
And
they pronounce it,
Cash.
the Z as an S-H.
C-O.
C-O. C-O.
C-O-S-H
Where?
is how they
Where?
pronounce it.
We're trying to
Yeah,
Okay.
you
So-
like Johnny Cash.
Okay. But no relation.
No, that's all right.
So, so they watched her die, and you were explaining that she was very religious, and
She'd gone to church about 2 times that day, had to walk about a mile through the snow each way, and had to come home, feed the animals, she had animals, and feed the little children. And so you can imagine, my mom was 8, and then her brother was 2 years younger, Uncle Lloyd. Have you heard of Uncle Lloyd?
yes, a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, he was served in the First World War.
Okay.
on the European side.
And his
On the
name was
Germans.
Louis Mitchell Mihelchich.
Okay.
They changed it from Mihelchich to Mitchell when they came to this country.
Okay.
So Uncle Lloyd, you said he served, did he fight for the United States or did he fight for the other?
Oh, the U.S.
He did.
Yeah.
But his brother, the older brother,
Yeah, Ignatz.
Ignatz. So there was Ignatz, there was Mary,
Mm-hmm.
there was
My mom,
Louise, and then there was Loy.
Loy.
Louis.
Louis, yeah.
Louis. Okay, there was 4 children.
4 children.
Okay. So Ignatz fought on the European side against his younger brother who fought on the American
right.
side.
My mother
Another
said that they
brother.
were brother
Two
against
brothers.
brother fighting.
Now that we have a
But
picture.
he was injured in the leg. He was kind of crippled, so
Lloyd or Ignatz?
Uncle Lloyd, yeah.
Okay.
Now what happened to Ignatz?
He got
He got
killed.
killed.
Okay, in the war?
Yeah.
Okay. there's a picture in the hallway of your mom.
Yeah.
Is that with Uncle Lloyd?
Yeah, it was Uncle Lloyd.
And now who was?
I just loved him. He was so nice.
He was a cobbler, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think when we were
A
kids.
shoemaker.
That's right. When we were kids, where did he live?
Well, Glasgow, Montana. And he had, how many children they had? I think they just had two, a boy and a girl.
Wow.
Do you remember what we got from him? Because he gave us something, or did you buy it?
Yeah, I remember. Let me think, what was it now?
I think he gave us a coin purse that he made, and it was all leather
Yeah, that's possible.
and tooled, and it was shaped in a half circle, and had a zipper in it and a little loop. I don't know where they all went, but you might find one around.
His daughter, Helen, was close in my age. That was his oldest. His son, Leon, was a little younger, and he was killed when he was flying an airplane, and I can't remember all the details on that. They just had two children. And he married a woman that I didn't like. She was very mean.
Oh.
How was she
Do you
mean?
remember her name?
Yeah, Margaret.
How was she mean?
What was her maiden name?
I'm not positive.
My house
It
is.
might be in there.
Yeah, it might be.
Let me see the book and I'll see if I can find it.
Just a minute, let's see.
Because that shows Jonas. Oh, it may not show because that's on your Koj side and the Helchik side.
Yeah.
So it may not show her brother in there.
So now what's the side of your family that's lacking? This is one side of your family.
It's the Lucine
The
side.
Lucine side. And,
What side is what?
lacking. Which side don't we have information on? Isn't there,
Lacking, did you
yeah,
say?
lacking. We don't have information on one side, is that correct? Or do we have information on both sides of your family?
Do you know much about the Mahelchiks and the Kojas or Cash families?
There's.
I think at one time you told me that you thought there was a duchess.
A what?
A duchess?
Oh, Duchess?
No,
No,
Baron.
not a duchess,
A royalty.
royalty.
Okay, yeah. Baroness.
A baroness. Is that what you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. No. Oh,
That was Grandma Lescabar's
on the last.
that side of the family.
Side.
That was the Lozar side of the family. She came to the United States and had a lot of, she was fairly well off. And she came to the United States unescorted, I believe. Isn't that right, Mom? Annie's mother, Caroline? What was Caroline's maiden name?
On the left of yours?
No, those.
No, repeat what you said.
What was Caroline Lozar's maiden name?
Oh, they don't know. They think maybe she was the daughter of a baron.
An illegal daughter or
Probably illegal.
illegitimate?
Probably
She came to, was it Chicago when she first arrived, or was it Wisconsin, or
Something like that.
somewhere back east?
So the boat, that she rode in on a boat and she arrived in Wisconsin or Chicago?
Or she arrived in New York, Ellis Island,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and then went in, came,
I don't know where she met
I don't know.
her husband, Joseph Lozar.
okay.
But Aunt Frances and also Aunt Sue said that she was born the daughter of a baron, and she might have worked in a household with,
Her mother may have worked in a household,
yeah,
Caroline's mother,
yeah.
okay. So she may have,
It's kind of a blank there. But Caroline was a wonderful person.
Yeah.
She was really, really wonderful.
I remember her.
She stayed with us for a while when we were at Boulevard Park.
I probably did not remember that.
Yeah.
Well, you probably were about 4
6
years
or
old,
7.
maybe 5.
No,
Really?
5. Yeah.
I think it's written in your baby book, maybe.
I'll look at my baby book. I remember visiting her in San Francisco with Aunt Sue. They lived in the apartment
Yeah,
Yeah, with Sue and-
together,
she'd go to church every day.
riding the bus or streetcar, San
Yeah,
Francisco
the
streetcar.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I
she was
remember.
pretty ambitious gal.
So we're,
Now, what happened with her?
Fran?
How did she
No.
pass away?
No,
Do you remember what happened to her?
no, I'm not sure.
I thought she was either riding the streetcar or the bus, and she was
You mean
getting
Sue-
on the bus, and the bus driver accidentally closed the door, and she fell back and hurt herself. Remember that?
I don't, remember.
And then I remember one time we came to visit, and we were gonna stay at the apartment, Sue and Aunt Grandma Lozar's apartment, Grandma Caroline's. And Grandma Caroline went out and bought dinner, the fixings for dinner. And I remember we had pot roast and potatoes and carrots. And I got to help her in the kitchen, and she was talking to me like I was an adult. And I was very impressed with that.
Caroline?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, she was quite wonderful.
Caroline's family, not Caroline, Aunt Frances' family,
Fran and Sue.
there were
lived-
5 girls and 1 boy. And I remember that because that's how many are in my family.
So,
5 boys and 1 girl.
so who was the oldest in Caroline Lozar's family?
Let me think. Well, let's see, let's break them up.
Fran,
There was
okay,
Frances,
Frances.
there was
No, Aunt.
Aunt Frances, there was Sue, there was Caroline, there was
Was there a son,
Frances.
was
Okay,
there a
there was
son in
Aunt-
there?
Oh,
yeah,
Annie.
they only had 1 son, and that was Uncle Lloyd.
No, not Lloyd.
Not Uncle Lloyd, Uncle Steve. And
Steve was.
Steve,
yeah.
was
Was
the only-
Steve just
no.
was Steve older or younger than Sue?
think
he
he
was
was
younger,
old.
I'm pretty sure.
So then it was
Caroline,
Annie.
Frances was the youngest.
So Annie was the oldest.
Yeah,
Then the next one was
Caroline, I
Caroline,
think.
and then was
Sue.
and then
Sue.
was
Oh, Sue's name is really Stephanie, but she didn't like the name, so she wanted to be called Sue.
so she called
So
yes.
we,
And then Steve,
Then Steve.
and then Fran.
That only makes 5. We're missing 1.
There were 6.
Sue.
Oh, there's one. What was her name?
Not Carol. No, Carol.
No,
No,
Was it Mary?
or
Mary.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mary was.
So Annie was the oldest.
yeah,
Then was
Mary, I think.
Mary.
okay. Then was
Probably Caroline.
and then Steve.
Steve. Then,
No, wait, whoa, Sue. You said. I'm sorry.
oh yeah,
Sue,
Sue was-
Sue.
and then Steve.
and then Frances. Yeah. So
So
there's
Aunt Frances
5
was the youngest.
I thought
5
Sue
girls
was
and
the
1
old,
boy.
youngest, but
And Frances was the youngest, is that right?
She was what?
Aunt Frances was the youngest?
Yeah.
Okay, and she lived in San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'm getting it straight in my brain. Okay.
Well, why did they move from was it Butte
Yeah.
to San Francisco? When did they do that?
Um,
Remember?
Quite a story about that, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
I think they just wanted to get out of. I don't know.
Do you know when this
Well-
happened?
No.
When was it? Buddy, was it Bobby? Was it Caroline's son?
yeah, Caroline's son was born out of wedlock
When was he born? Before or after Dad?
before
Who
Dad.
was the old?
So
About a
then
year.
a year, so 1915 maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
That was Bobby.
Bobby, yeah. Caroline's son, illegitimate. Yeah, very scandalous.
Now she moved. Didn't she move away after the baby was born to San Francisco first and got a job at the telephone company?
I think something like
I
that.
think I remember
I
that.
think
Yeah.
she was there
Yeah,
for.
something like
yeah.
that.
And then where did Bobby stay and live?
He,
Sam.
Lived.
No.
I guess he was practically raised by Grandma.
Grandma Lozar
Yeah.
and Grandpa Joseph Lozar. So-
Joseph Lozar didn't live too long.
I
I never met him.
thought we looked at some school records that had school reports are on there, and there was a something in there saying that Bobby was listed as a Lozar, and the parents were listed as Caroline and Joseph. Remember seeing that? Didn't Buddy bring that by? Or didn't you get a list of things like that?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it was just it was probably about 2 years ago, and Buddy and,
Maggie?
yeah, but was it Buddy who came by or his son who came by?
Steve?
Maybe so. Came by and they had this list. You've got it somewhere.
Probably.
And it showed the school records of Butte and of the Lozar family.
What year would this be about?
Good question.
Okay. So now we followed a rabbit trail all the way to San Francisco, and we're somewhere in the 30s, 1940s maybe?
No,
No,
I think it
1950, no.
was maybe the 30s.
30s. Okay, but we've strayed far away from our family that's watching their mother die, and we've strayed far away from the cause of death, which that's what we were talking about.
What death?
They were watching their mother die. They were watching, and their mother's name was Mary Michelchik.
Michelchich.
Mihelchich. I'm getting it. Gotta train my brain. Mihelchich, and she had been to church twice. But why would she have died from going to church?
No,
She fed the animals.
Yeah, she'd been ill. She'd been working too hard.
And it was
Long.
winter. Wasn't it winter and she had to
That was
walk
winter.
miles to,
Yeah.
to church?
Wow, how many miles would you say?
We were there and saw where she had to walk, but I have no idea how far. But I understood it was about a mile each way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the storms and her illness must have just overtaken her.
Yeah, she just probably couldn't handle all of it.
So then,
She did it
she
for,
was a
she
single
did
mom.
it for 4 years. Her husband died when my mom was 4, and then she died when my mom was 8, so it was 4 years in there.
So
And
a lot of
her
people-
mother, what was her name? Last name was Cash. Her mother, my mother's grandmother, tried to help her, but she couldn't help her that much either, because there was another daughter in the family, and she had to help her, because she had 13 children.
Oh my goodness. So she chose to help the family with the 13 children, and the family with the 4 children had to go ahead and take care of themselves.
Yeah, but she helped a little bit.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure she did.
And I had met one of the daughters of that 13 children family, that my mom would visit her in East Helena,
Okay.
and we'd go to visit her.
And who was
But
that?
she never had any children.
Oh, okay.
Her name was Mary.
Oh, okay. And
Mary Persich.
what was Persich? Wow.
Persich. Who's this now?
Persich. This is a daughter of. Let me see if I can get this. This is a daughter of Mary's mother. No.
My grandmother's mother.
Your grandmother's mother, grandmother Mary, her mother had another daughter that had 13 children, and one of the 13 children's name was Mary, and Mary had eventually made it to Helena, Montana, and you would go and visit Mary.
And the
In
last
Helena,
one,
Montana.
and her married name was?
Her married name was Pahelchich?
Persich.
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 I got the
But
Mahelchich.
she herself could never have any children.
Mary Pelchich.
Persich.
Persich.
I got you doing it now.
Persich. Is
Persich.
Carol and Bob here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's
haven't seen
Carol? I
them.
haven't
Hey,
seen
come
Carol
on in
in
and
a
say
while.
hi, guys.
You're taping, aren't you?
Yeah, of course, but that's okay. Come on, get on tape.
So
Are
now,
we taping?
You didn't know
Yes.
that, did
I
you?
didn't know that.
I knew you
I
didn't
know,
that.
because we just started going on the stories and it was
I
exciting.
know my camera, and I don't know how much your voice is getting picked up.
She's you got a
Oh,
picture.
shucks.
You know.
I know.
can only hope. So,
Don't worry about it.
I'll say hi, and then I'll finish my project.
Hi.
Hi.
We've been having Mom open a present or two.
Oh, how about we open our presents to each other?
Oh, What a good idea.
You think that'd be a good idea?
Well, you
I
can
don't, we're
open-
gonna open them
Not all
tomorrow.
of them.
Well,
Well, the thing is, you know, you're gonna have a big, huge, don't know how well the sound is gonna pick up across the room. We had difficulty with Mom and Dad sitting across the table.
Did we really? Oh boy.
Well, that's, you know, what am I gonna say?
We'll take a.
And then when you get a lot of background noise close to the camera is what I told Brandon.
Oh, you told Brandon that already?
Do you need a brief?
Well, Brandon can probably enhance the sound and mask any other sounds that are needed.
Sounds
good.
so fancy today.
Do
These are pretty.
Really?
Yeah,
Very,
you
look
always
a
look
little
cute.
sweeter.
He always looks cute,
She's
Mom.
always cute.
He's so young looking. I wish I was young.
You was.
You
was young.
Oh, I wish I was that young. How about you, Mom? Don't you wish you were
I want to
younger?
be your age.
I want to be her age.
I want to be your age.
No, her age, Mom. I wish for the.
I want to be your age. Hi. Oh,
Merry Christmas.
Oh, we
Merry
gotta say
Christmas.
hello.
We gotta do this part.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Okay,
We
Merry
get-
Christmas.
We get to do it again tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna say good hello to Bob.
Bye.
Hi. Oh,
Janelle's gonna need a
Hi.
ride home.
I think we can.
manage? I don't know.
No?
Sure.
Or think about.
I don't see why not.
When was that?
Oh, this was last year. Remember we sat down with you and Dad?
Sharp knife.
That was, we had her open it before we cut the ham.
Do you want more?
Are you finished with your beer or you want some more?
Oh, you want me to talk?
Of course I
I-
do, always.
I really kind of have a frog in my throat. I don't think I'm sounding very clear.
Oh, you're sounding
Sound
great.
great.
You do. You sound fantastic. I love listening to your voice anyway.
Wow.
Beautiful singing voice.
But it's like what granddaughter doesn't like to listen to their grandparents?
Do you know when I was growing up, I only knew one grandparent.
Wow.
All the others had died.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. My dad's mother is the one that I knew.
Wow.
Her name was Agnes. We called her Monty.
Monty. That's a
She
beautiful
always
nickname.
wore a black long dress.
And she had very, very.
Did she wear her hair up in a bun?
They do
I
that.
don't know. I don't think so.
But she was like on.
But she was raised in a family. Her father was a caretaker of a huge church complex. And that's where they lived. You saw pictures that we got and showed where she lived when her father was living. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Huge, beautiful building right next to the,
Yes.
on the parish grounds, right next to the church.
Yeah. And my grandfather was kind of a drinker, I guess.
Oh,
He died way before I was born. I mean, way before my dad was. No, before I was born. I think he died in 1927.
wow.
Oh, no, but I didn't bring the tray and the little.
I know. Do you need a
Okay,
scoop
put it
for
there.
It shows that my mother's mother, Mary Koj Mihalcic,
Okay.
was born in 1860
Oh,
in Austria.
okay.
And her father,
Oh, Mom didn't need prunes, did she? Did Randy get the prunes?
Andrew Mihalcic,
Okay.
born in 1855 in Austria.
They're small.
That's according to the Lucene book.
Okay.
They did a good job with this book. You know who did it?
Yes.
Okay.
And when?
So what I did is
You,
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Who?
they were like this.
The gal who did the book.
What?
She was fantastic. We met her at
The guy who's.
at the reunion in Montana.
Oh, you met both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Tom's wife Pat
Yes.
and
Nancy.
Frisbee.
Nancy Frisbee.
Nancy Frisbee was my cousin's daughter.
Okay.
I would think that if you were to put them even up here, you would know where they are.
My mom and dad had, what they said there were 24 descendants from my mom and dad.
24 descendants.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot of people.
I know.
That'd be like Ren.
Well, let's see, I had, trying to remember now, I had, 5 brothers and me, so there's 6 children. First one was, my brother Ed, he was born first in 1912, and he had 5. Then, next was my brother Al, they had 3. Next was my brother Ray, they didn't have any children. Next was me, we had 7. And next was Art, he had 4, didn't he? Next was brother Bill, he had 5. So, they figured 24. So, see, 5 and 5 are 10. I'd have to write them all down.
I should have been tallying.
Where were they born?
My brother Ed and Al and Ray and me were born in Great Falls. Then Art and Bill were born in Butte.
Were you born in a hospital
Oh, I think so. I don't know.
or at home?
I think it, no, my brother Bill was born at home. I was 5 years old. My mom, she was in bed in the bedroom, and my dad said, well, come Louise, don't you want to see the baby, see your mother and see the baby? No, I don't want to see the baby. I was 5 years old. I was going to my Aunt Mary's and to stay there.
Oh boy.
Where was your mom and dad's bedroom in the house?
Oh, and on the main floor. You
Was it-
remember it? Remember the mirrors in the bedroom? Oh, they had 3 big doors and they had 3 mirrors there in the bedroom. You sat on the bed here and there were the three doors and the mirrors. I loved that bedroom.
I never was inside the bedroom because it belonged to Aunt Noella and Uncle Ed when I was visiting it and I was a little girl. Where did you sleep?
Bedroom upstairs.
How many bedrooms were upstairs?
Actually, there were 3, but we only used 2 for bedrooms. My brothers slept in the big room. And they had 2 double beds in there. There were 4 of them that slept in that one room.
Oh my.
And my brother Bill slept with me until he was about 5 years old. And then
And you were about 10?
yeah, I was 10.
Huh?
Yeah, he slept with me every night,
Was that, when did he start sleeping there? Was it when he's about 1 year old?
probably. I don't know. But my brother Ed went off to college, and so that made room for him. And then the other room was quite small, but my mom had her sewing machine there. And I would go to bed sometime at night, and I could hear the sewing machine working.
What kind,
She made some clothes for me at one time.
what kind of sewing machine did she have?
Treadle.
Do you know what what make it was?
And what city was this in?
Butte.
Butte, Montana.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your address in Butte?
1014 West Plattman.
Platinum Street.
Dorothy can see our house across the vacant lot that's next door. They didn't build on that lot. So she could look down from her house. She lived on 1030 West Gold. So it was Plattman where we were and Gold where she was. It was just a block away.
And who is Dorothy?
My cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who was her mom and who was her dad?
Oh, her mom was Aunt Mary and Uncle Charlie. And Uncle Charlie and my dad were in the men's clothing store business together. My dad took Uncle Charlie in.
Tell us about your early days. What do you remember? Do you remember anything before you started school? What, like Christmas or birthdays? How you celebrated?
Christmas wasn't so much gift buying as it is now. You know, it was less commercial.
Did you have a tree, a Christmas tree?
Oh yeah, we had a live tree decorated.
How
the
did you
living room.
how did you decorate it?
A lot of tinsel.
Any glass balls or
I think
garlands?
so. Yeah.
Did you put lights or candles?
I think we had lights.
Electric lights
Yeah.
on the tree?
Yeah, I'm in bed.
But Christmas was totally different then. It wasn't so geared toward presents.
Presents and
Not as
commercial
much.
ones,
Did you get together with family and friends for parties and things?
Oh yeah,
Did you have special foods?
can't remember.
How about petizza? Was that at Christmas?
Yeah, we had it more often than that though.
Dad,
Did you?
Yeah.
Dad's mom would make
Yeah, my mom made it too all the time.
pizza.
Yeah,
So it was more of a all year round. Petizza was all year round, not just for the
Christmas.
holidays,
Oh,
not
yeah.
for
Yeah.
Christmas. Oh,
But you had to do it when the walnuts were fresh. You couldn't wait because how did they keep walnuts fresh back then? Because they can get spoiled.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they would have to use fresh nuts in their petizza because it uses walnuts.
yeah. Can you keep nuts in a cellar though?
You can, but they can dry out. You can freeze them nowadays, but back then there were no freezers.
Cellars did get pretty cold, but probably not that cold. I don't know.
Not to keep them throughout the summer. So you may not have had petizza during the summer unless they were finishing up the last of the walnuts.
I could look in my diary. I've got 3 diaries, you know.
Wow.
Look that up. I'm curious about that.
Maybe you had an ice house.
No,
Some-
we didn't.
No?
An ice
Okay.
house or an
Some
ice
people
house?
cut their ice in the wintertime and they store it in sawdust in an ice
Yeah.
house.
Well, that's my uncle in the at the ranch. That's what they did. They had a big barn full of ice, and
And-
they had straw all over it to
That was
keep
the-
it all
the
year.
Putzker family, was that?
Putzker, yeah.
Putzkers, and that's where you rode the horse.
Oh, the horse, yes.
That's okay.
What was the horse's name?
Oh,
Pray.
Yay, she got
Pray.
it. Pray.
Oh, good job.
And where was the ranch? Pray.
Pray, Montana.
Yeah, right.
And what color was the horse?
Brown, I think.
Was it brown? I don't know.
Was it like a what kind
As
of?
soon as I got there, I'd go to the barn and get the horse ready.
Oh, fun. And you
I'd
go
go
for a
riding off by myself.
How old were you?
I'm not sure.
Were you about 10 or?
Probably 10, 12. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember going with him up this dirt road, the road that led to the post office. That was the only thing that was there was the post office. And we came to a place and the horse went off the side of the road off and into a ditch-like area and dipped down. And there I was, hanging on. He was getting some water to drink.
Oh, you thought he was gonna
Scared the
dump you.
daylights out of me.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. I bet. That would be quite steep.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you say his name was, Mary Lou?
Pray.
Pray.
We say pray. We
like
pray
to
every
say a
day.
prayer.
Yeah.
The family that prays
Trying
together,
to remember
rides together.
if that was really what I called him.
You told me that a couple
Okay.
days ago that it was Pray.
Yeah.
And you said the ranch was in Pray, Montana.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
look in your diary and see if we're correct.
Yeah, my grandfather's was made in
They had cattle. They had cows that they milked. They had chickens. They had pigs.
Any sheep?
Yeah, they had sheep.
And horse.
They used to have a group of men come and help them during the haying season.
So they also grew hay.
Yeah,
Did they grow other things too, that they may have sold, like vegetables or?
they grew
Apples?
vegetables and they had a lot of apple and fruit trees.
Okay. I thought, well, yeah, they didn't have any nut trees though back in Montana. I don't think they would be able to grow.
No.
In California, yes, but
Yeah.
not in Montana. Did you help with the chickens when you were there?
Oh, I probably fed the chickens. Yeah.
And gathered the eggs?
Yeah, I remembered how fascinated I was with the milk when they separated the cream. They had a separator, you know. That was
What did the
fascinating.
separator look like?
Quite a big machine.
Yeah.
Was it a machine?
They had a bunkhouse where the extra help used to stay.
Wow.
How did the machine
What was the
operate,
sep-
the separator? Was it electric or did they have to crank it or?
Not sure.
Did they just like take it like just right off the top? No.
The
No running water in the kitchen.
wow.
Where did you get your
A
water?
pump?
Pump in the kitchen, right off the kitchen.
So it must have been a well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you have an outhouse or
Oh,
inside?
definitely an outhouse.
Where did you bathe?
We didn't bathe when we were there. No.
Where did they bathe?
Probably in the house
Yeah.
somewhere.
In the kitchen in a big galvanized steel tub?
Probably. Yeah.
Or the swimming hole.
And you know my 3 cousins that are, they're still living. One of them is 95.
Wow.
The other one is 90.
95,
94.
90.
The other one is 92. And they're still living.
What are their names?
The oldest one's name is Mary.
So,
Her, her last name is Ashley. She married a man named Ashley.
Do you know his
Mary
first?
Ashley.
Do you know his first name?
No. And then Helen is the one I talk to most on the phone.
So-
She had 2 husbands. Her first husband was killed in a hunting accident when he was quite young. She married again. She married this man named, what was his first name? Anyway, her main name now is Mary Cusick. Cusick.
Who's that?
Cusick. She lives in Livingston. And then my cousin Louise, she is pretty sure 92. She lives in Brainerd, Minnesota, and I guess she's living in assisted living now. But her both of their brothers are dead. They had 5 children.
Mary and her husband, Mr. Putzker. What was his first name?
John.
John.
And you told us a story about your mom one time. Both Louise Mahelchik and Mary Mahelchik met John Putzker.
Well, they came over from Europe together. Her
Mary,
sister Mary.
why don't you tell us the story about how your mother came to?
Wait, before we go to that point, let's finish the story that we started earlier where Mary is it Mary?
Yeah.
Mary, Mihalchich
Yeah.
is dying and the children are watching. Is that right?
Oh, that was
That
my
was
mother's
earlier.
mother.
That was your mother's mother. We haven't finished that yet. We don't know what
Yes.
happened to the kids.
Oh, that's
Caroline was going to help, but she was helping the other 13 children
Oh.
of the aunt
Not
of Mary.
Caroline.
not Caroline. Caroline's on the other side.
Oh, okay. It wasn't Caroline. It was we don't know.
What was her name, Mom?
It
What
would
was,
be-
My mother's mother.
your mother's grandmother. What was her name?
Okay. It'll be no. Okay. For sure.
I should remember because I know my mom spoke of her.
It's
I probably was Mary. Everybody was named Mary.
It was probably Coase. Her married name was Coase because your mother's maiden name was Coase.
Yeah,
or
that's right.
Cash.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
So how was she able to help once the kids had no mother? So you have all these young children. Your grandmother would have been, what did you say, 5? Or
There was Giannis, there was Mary, there was Louise, and then there was Loy. So what happened to those 4 children after
Oh,
their mother died as
There
they
was
watched?
Ignatz was first,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ignox,
Mary,
Mary,
Louise,
Louise,
and Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Lloyd, okay, my mistake.
Okay, Mary was, no, Ignatz was old enough to move with another relative family and help. And also Mary, she went and helped with the family that had 13 children. My mom went to the convent and lived in the convent from the time she was 8 years old.
Was that like a convent orphanage?
Yeah.
Was she 8 at that time?
Yeah, when
Was
she
she
was
with-
8 when her mom died.
Okay.
Wow.
And Uncle Lloyd went to live at a similar situation for young boys, like an orphanage.
And he would have been 5?
He would have been, no, 2 years, 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2 years difference from
Okay.
my mom. Younger.
Okay.
So when he should.
And he grew up in a kind of an orphanage type thing for boys.
When she was.
What did Grandma say about the orphanage and about the people who, the nuns who took care of the orphans?
Well, she didn't always, she didn't sound like she was too happy with the care that she got because she was not a paying.
Oh.
She was an orphan, and she was at their, she did,
She would have been like a Cinderella.
yeah. Well, she was not, her parents, she was an orphan. She didn't have money to pay for her to stay there. So she was supposed to be working and helping to pay for her keep.
Sort of like the little Shirley Temple movie about the
The,
the little princess. or
Little
something?
princess, yeah, where the captain goes off to war and
And she has to become the servant girl.
yes. So she probably had to work there quite
Yeah,
hard.
she did work as much as she could, yes.
Wow. And what was the orphanage's name or the parish?
Oh, I don't know.
No. Okay.
It was in Ljubljana, which is the capital city of Slovenia.
Okay. So there would be potentially records there in Ljubljana.
Maybe.
Like
What kind of stories did she come back with from the